Hey everyone, and welcome to our network. My name is Ruth Perkinson, and this is the Magical Miracle Network. Boy, has it been a hot month here in Richmond, Virginia. We've had really, really high temperatures. And I think a lot of us are just trying to really stay cool. And so, what I thought I would do today is to come on and give everyone some cooling thoughts and some cooling wisdom from the Holy Spirit. I was really guided about an hour ago just to come on and talk a little bit about the two voices in our head, the two voices in our mind, and to give everyone just a really clear understanding of what you're dealing with here on planet Earth. Every single person, every single animal, and every plant is dealing with a split thought system. You're either in the spiritual thought system of the Holy Spirit, or you're in the ego thought system, which is the one that is the distortion. And so we have, just as you go through your day, we just want to be reminded that you have two things going on. You have those two thought systems in your mind. And so, what Jesus is trying to teach us in A Course in Miracles is to really distinguish the difference between when you're in the spiritual thought system of the Holy Spirit and when you're not. And after a while, when you meditate and do your spiritual practice, you'll begin to really develop a greater understanding of which thought system you're in at any given moment. It's usually by, and I've said this before and I'll say it again, it's by always by how you feel as to which thought system you're adhering to. The other thing I want to bring up a little bit is the idea of channeling. I've been dealing with a lot of clients over the last 6 or 7 years, and I can see a pattern developing in a lot of my clients who are, their psychic abilities are coming on board. They're trying to figure out what's going on in their own system because we're all going through this ascension process. And many of them are like, what's going on? I've got this ability. I can hear better. I'm having a clairaudient. I'm having a knowing, a claircognizant. I'm having a feeling, a clairsentience. I'm having just this clairvoyance. I'm seeing things that are coming in service of this greater plan of awakening. And so everyone here we're sort of going through this ascension process. And so it's very important to just recognize that, hey, you're okay. You're not going crazy. This is just part of it. And so just tune in to the Holy Spirit thought system and begin asking questions to your higher self. It's very important. So your lower mind, Ruth, this is the lower mind, the ego mind. You really ask the lower mind to join with the higher mind and sort of letting go of the ego mind, just letting it all go. And this is a beautiful way to do it. You can even use your body this way, just letting that lower mind go, just letting that ego thought system go. Any thought of fear, any thought of separation, any thought of shame or guilt or unworthiness. Just use your hand this way. Let it just go away, ego. We don't want to engage with you. So you're sort of letting the ego mind go, that lower mind go, in favor of that higher mind. And you activate your mind with spirit. You just say that I am joining with my higher self. And then when you join with your higher self, the voice, the true voice, your true self will begin to speak to you in your thoughts. And you just wait for the next thought to come through. Right now, I waited a moment and it said, you are being divinely guided. I waited again. Ruth Perkinson is being divinely guided. That's another thought, pure thought coming from the Holy Spirit thought system, my higher self. And my higher self knows everything about me, this lower aspect, from the beginning of time to the end of time. And really, there is no time. So I'm trusting that my higher self is the great wisdom teacher and is going to give me the voice for source, the voice for God, and give me really, really helpful suggestions, inspirations. Do I need to pick up the phone and call somebody? Do I need to pray for somebody? Do I need to support somebody? It's all in favor of the Holy Spirit's plan for the waking up of the sleeping mind. Who is the sleeping mind? You are the sleeping mind. There's one sleeping mind, there's one dreamer, and it's you. Okay. And it's me together. We're just the one, we're asleep a little bit. And so the Spirit is waking us up. Okay. I'll give one more little demonstration of that. I'm going to really activate my mind with Spirit. You can say that again. And then give me the next divine thought, and I'll pause and I'll wait for it. I just heard, tell everyone watching this video that they are the light of the world. Just a thought that came through from the higher mind. Now, the ego mind is not going to tell me everyone is the light of the world, because the ego doesn't agree with that. The ego agrees with separation. It agrees with death. It agrees with sickness. It agrees with cruelty. It agrees with the terrible, awful sickness of this world. That's what the ego agrees with. And the ego is not your friend. That's another thought that's coming through right now. The ego is not your friend. So what we want to do with the ego is we want to undo it. We want to release it. We want to make it laugh. We want to just, let it go, and let the invisible God, God is invisible. We want invisible God to undo that through the Holy Spirit's forgiveness and from its love as well. And so we're really undoing the ego mind through our joint forgiveness. And we're strengthening all these ideas in the mind. So we have two voices, one for Spirit speaking through me right now. That's channeling. That is a channeled message. Everyone's doing it when you're in service of the Holy Spirit's plan. Now, when I get off track, when I get upset, and it happens every day while we're on planet Earth, while we're in duality, we're going to have upsets come up. It could be a past thought. It could be a past being. I'll just be honest, in the last 10 or 12 years, I've lost a few friends. And because of just circumstances and karma. And so what I do is I go, okay, class is in session. And so I'm going to use the spiritual thought system to send love and light to all those beings in my timeline, all the way to the last 10, 20, 30 years as they come up. If it upsets me, then class is in session and I just go into the mind, I go into prayer, and I send forgiveness to that person, that place, that situation that occurred, whenever it occurred. And you can count on the Holy Spirit to create a beautiful portal in the mind, this pure thought going to any of those beings, and it will land on them, and it will help them, and it'll help you, and it'll just clear the karma. And you only have to do it one time, just one time. Now, if I get upset over and over again by a certain, situation, person, place, thing, I will do it again just because it just helps me feel better. So you can do it, just trust that you only have to do it one time. But if you feel upset again, it's okay to do it again. It's okay to go into a protocol of forgiveness, just reminding you of your innocence and that being of their innocence. And that will absolutely clear the karma between you and that being. So we're on this horizontal axis on this worldly plane, and you're walking through that horizontal timeline. And so while you're doing it, you're just staying in that spiritual thought system. That voice, that true voice for Spirit, is truly who you are. That's your true self speaking. And it's going to speak with love. It's going to speak with compassion. It's going to speak with helpfulness. It's going to speak with forgiveness. It's going to speak and think with all of that. And it's going to help you. When you feel off track, that's the ego script playing out in your life in that horizontal plane. And when you're on track, that's the Holy Spirit script playing out in your life. And how do we jump dimensions of time and space? We forgive. We use the forgiveness and the love to jump dimensions of time and space. And that's kind of cool. So people will show up differently as you do your spiritual work and you do the forgiveness work. All of a sudden, you'll be like, wow, that was really a different experience I had with that being because, before I thought, wow, we might have a little bit of a hiccup, but they come back into your life and suddenly things feel better. It's because you've done the work. Jesus isn't going to do the work for us. We have to step up to our own plate. We have to get into the game of forgiveness and we have to do it. And you have to just have the loving willingness and take the responsibility to do it. And it will work one loving thought at a time. And I know you can do it. So we have two voices. One is for spirit, it's coming from source all the way through you. You're a channel of light and love. And we've got that second voice for the ego, which is the great interrupter. It's going to come in and try to just throw us off course. It's going to project all these weird distortions from people, places, and things, and also from yourself. Oftentimes we can project as well. So we want to get rid of projection in favor of extending our light and our love to ourselves first, and then to all the beings that we see out there in our timeline. They're showing back up in your timeline because where you made a faulty decision before, and it's okay, we've all made faulty decisions, you get to choose again, and you get to choose the voice for spirit, the thought for spirit, and absolutely apply that to that being who is in front of you. And it's worth doing. And even if you can't do it right then and there, you get a little bit of a hiccup, with something, then do it a little bit later. Wait till that evening when you go into meditation and do it then. But I tell you, don't wait because it's going to keep showing up. If you don't clear it, it's going to keep showing up in the same way. So we want to break up with the ego thought system in favor of the Holy Spirit thought system. And that's what's going to get you all the way back home to source. And so that is going to be a beautiful thing for you to accomplish. Okay. So this is just a short video today coming in, talking a little bit about the two voices and the true voice of spirit and the false voice of the ego. So when you are in that false voice or in that stinking thinking, the ego's taken over. And there's no judgment there, but just be aware that's what's happened. And you can shift out, create your own miracle, and get back into the zone of spirit. We need your willingness. We need your beautiful light to strengthen the mind of the ego, strengthen the mind of the spirit, and so that we can share this beautiful teaching around the world. My name is Ruth Perkinson, and this is the Magical Miracle Network, and I'm glad that you hit the subscribe button. I'm glad that you are sharing this information, and please do. It will help, and I'm grateful. So thank you. We'll talk to you very soon.